Hi everyone, it's Donna, your homegrown gourmet, part of that Gourmet or Good Enough team with my sister Diane. And this week I've been working on my late harvest eggplant. I made eggplant parmesan this week, and today I'm going to make some caponata. If you're not familiar with caponata, you're in for a treat. It is similar to a ratatouille in the fact that it uses eggplant and peppers and onions and garlic and zucchinis, things like that. But the Sicilian dish is added with briny olives and salty capers and tangy vinegar, a little bit of sugar, sometimes some raisins. It's served as a room temperature side or a salad, and every Sicilian household has their own version. Here's mine. Let's get started. To start my caponata, I'm heating up 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a nice large skillet. I've chopped up some peppers. Today I'm using yellow peppers and red peppers, sweet peppers. I have a few thinly sliced onions and then some finely diced celery. While this is sauteing, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my eggplant. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper to this. I'm going to hold off on the salt because, like I said, we're using capers and olives, and they're very briny and salty, so we don't need to add that. So now that my vegetables have sweated for a little bit, I'm going to remove them and set them aside. Turn the heat back up, add another drizzle of olive oil. We're going to saute our eggplant on high heat until they're nice and caramelized. Eggplant is one of those vegetables that doesn't have a lot of flavor on its own. It's like a sponge and it takes up a lot of different flavors. So that's why we use it in this dish, because it can carry all those wonderful flavors with it. So, tiny bit of salt to draw out some of the moisture. And then we're just going to let this saute here until they get nice and brown and caramelized. Eggplant is getting caramelized. I'm going to add a couple cloves of garlic, just for flavor. And then once that browns a little bit, we'll pull it out. This dish reminds me of my cousin, Jamie, who lives in Singapore. I went to visit him about 10 years ago, and I asked, was there anything I could bring him from the States? He said, you know, the only thing he really wanted was a nice jar of caponata, because he just couldn't find it anywhere in Asia. And I was more than happy to oblige. So this dish is with Jamie in mind. Okay, so now that our eggplant is sufficiently caramelized, I'm going to go ahead and pull out that garlic. I'm going to add our sauteed vegetables back into the dish. Another thing I like about this dish, it's one pot. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit. Mix this around. In goes about 2 tablespoons of finely chopped green olives, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped raisins, 2 tablespoons of capers. I have 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Get that all mixed. That's going to go right in with the vegetables. The last thing I want to add is enough tomato sauce to give it some cohesiveness. Now I'm making a very large batch because this freezes really well. I could freeze this, put it in containers. It'll stay in the freezer for about 3 months. And then as the holidays approach, I have a great little appetizer or first course for when company comes. So I'm going to put the heat back up a little bit, let this come to a simmer, and we should be good to go. Okay, my caponata has been simmering on the stove for about 20 minutes. I shut it off, and my last addition is going to be celery leaves that I have chopped up. And I'm going to stir that in for a nice pretty brightness. And that's the dish. We are done. So there's my recipe for Sicilian caponata. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I'll have the recipe in the description below, plus links for other recipes using eggplant. Thanks for watching. Ciao.